We're trying this again. We think that we lost internet for a minute. Yep, I think that we're back. Yep. So we're trying take 2. I'm just going to start though from where I was before. It's all weird. Is it weird on your phone? It's still me watching. Okay. We're back. I could have been cutting these. I keep thinking I should cut this stuff out and all the downtime we've had today waiting for stuff, and then I have time and I don't. So I'm going to start. If you're just joining us, I am working with the Lasting Lily, and I showed you how to get your dies on here, which you can watch the first part of the video before the internet went, to get your dies on so they fit inside your, or your stamps on so they fit inside your dies. So you take your stamp and you just gently, gently, gently kind of drop that on there so it lands the shape that it is. And then you take your die, I'm gonna hand it to Susan, and you make sure that it sits inside of there. And that way you know that when you run it through your die, the Big Shot, that the die's the right shape. And you're not going to think that your stamp's defective or that your dies are defective. So, oops.
Oh, there we go.
Is it on now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've already stamped 3 leaves and 1 stem on the first half of our live. So now here's my second stem. This stamp set comes with 2 just leaves. I mean 2 just stems and then 1 that's just leaves. And I'm going to use them all. I want to make a little bouquet. So that was Pear Pizzazz. I don't know how you say it. And then on this lily, it's distinctive. So you do have to use one of these stamping pads because I tried it without and it doesn't work. And I'm using Petal Pink. I haven't tried it with a darker color. You might see the distinctive a little bit better if you do, but I did find that you want to get it nice and inky. And then when you go to stamp it, you stamp down and you stamp up pretty quick. Because if you hold it for too long, then it gets too much ink and it covers up all of the pretty distinctive part. So you can see it's got like white in the middle and it's got some lines. It has, what are the things in the middle of a flower called? Word. Hi, Diana.
Center? Stamens?
Yes, a stamen. I feel like I'm the only one here. We got this big old long table and everybody's... We're trying to get our technology done. And then it has one little lily. So again with it, you go straight down and straight up. And that, I found if I was pressing too long, that the distinctive just became a blob, and it was no longer it was distinctively disgusting if I did it too long. So that was how I did that, because this is not one of those stamp sets that you just sit down and you stamp. Here you go. So that's that. And then what I did was I took I think it's my light daffodil. And then you have to kind of look at the case, because when you look at the case, I should have stamped it in gray to see if it ever looked exactly like this when you stamp it. Maybe I could try that one day, because on here you can see what it's supposed to look like a little bit better than you can in the Petal Pink, because the Petal Pink's a light color.
Light, yeah.
But it looks pretty on my finished card. So I just took the bullet tip of this, and then you can kind of see where this goes, because this goes down part and then it has petal and then it goes part again. So you don't want to color it straight through. So just take your blend. You don't want to use your marker because it'd be too solid. And then it also does some funky stuff at the bottom, but because we're using the die cuts, it covers it up. So you don't have to color the funky stuff at the bottom. And they also don't have to be perfect, because it's a light color. And then the tiny one doesn't do anything at the bottom. It just has a little stem. And then because I worked on this card last night because I made an ugly one, and then I made a little bit better one.
At all. It's quite beautiful.
So it has like a little line right here. And as it got dark in my office, it was harder for me to see. So this morning I noticed that you can't really see this line. So you can just take your light petal paint blend if you want, and just ever so slightly just highlight if it doesn't come out. And it just kind of brings back a little bit of what might not show up in your original stamping.
It looks really pretty.
So that was all I did for that. So there's how you get them to line up. And that's what they look like that. So I'm going to move over and I'm going to cut my things out and let one of them show you their card, and then I'll show you how I build my bouquet, and I'll show you the finished card. Oh, I need it.
But you need it.
Yeah, I was gonna move. Do you
Okay.
want to?
Yep, just
Okay.
put it right here. Sure.
Well, we wanted to come up with some things that you could kind of still get excited about with Sale-A-Bration, and the occasions catalog and everything. Sometimes this last month of Sale-A-Bration, things have started to sell out, and you know, there's some, I don't know, there's just a little bit of a drag. So we don't want to get bogged down. We want to be excited. Yay! And we want to you know, make sure our customers see every last thing that they can possibly see. So one of the things that I wanted to play with, this is one of my favorite, the Needlepoint Nook is one of my favorite groups or suites in the occasions. We actually got to meet the designer on stage in November, and she was super sweet, and she was super concerned that we were gonna like it, or you know, how it was gonna, you know, perform. So anyway, this might just help her a little bit too, you know, because once we get a hold of something and really start playing with it.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Whenever you, like when the new stuff comes out and people, especially online, are like, I don't like that stamp, or that's ugly, or that paper's ugly, there's a real person that's connected behind that.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
they work at the home office and they read that stuff. So if you would like to put one of your designs online and then have people, 100 people
Criticize
say,
it.
I don't like that, that's ugly, why did they make that? Then just remember, if you do that, that there's a real person behind that. And this girl was not, I mean, she's probably in her 30s,
Maybe.
early
Yeah.
30s.
Yeah.
And so if you're 50 years old and you're saying, that's ugly, remember that could be your daughter that designed it, and she could be all happy that this was her artwork, and then there's people
And then
your
really
age
sad.
trashing it. So
Or
just
any
remember,
age.
it's not a computer that
Creates the
creates
designs.
this stuff. Real people do it.
Yep.
So just be kind with your words.
Yeah, that's always.
Because
a
it
good
always
thing.
makes me sad when people do that. It might not be your style, but that doesn't mean you have to go on and say it's ugly.
I saw something on the news today about be exceedingly kind. It's like a mindset thing. I don't know, it was a book or something, but I was like, oh, that's kind of a nice idea to live by.
I agree.
Okay, so what I did is I took out the paper, and it's gorgeous. I'm sure you probably have seen it, but in case you haven't, I mean, the backs of the paper, there's kind of some embroidered fronts, and then the backs are really pretty, vibrant, pastel-y, beautiful colors. They're, I mean, just lovely. And
I don't have this paper, and when I got here, I was like, where'd you get that paper? My daughter has it. This was one of her favorite.
And then the
sweets.
other thing that I like to do with the dies, I think Sherry is the one that told me how to do that. You need to run through all the dies, because this one especially has a lot of just impressions that it's just going to put dots in the image or on your cardstock. And I have the this punch. I couldn't figure out where this punch was, and it's the, what is it?
Label.
Beautiful label punch, I think, in the back of the catalog. So there is a punch to go with
It's like
the
page 211, I
punch.
think.
It's anyway. So I got the paper out, and I'm not necessarily using the stamps on this, but I wanted to work with this tea together because I got the framelits, and you get that with a $100 order. And this is one thing that they actually said is going to be available in the catalog, the new catalog upcoming. So this is kind of a transitional thing that you could bridge from March through to the new catalog, or really push in March, because you know, when is it? when is the end date? April. In April, or May, I don't know if the catalog will start. Will it start in June?
Starts in June.
Sorry, I just brain blip. But anyway, you will be able to use another stamp set with these framelits. So you'll have them, and your customers will have them, and they'll be really happy that they got them for free instead of, spending, $30 or $40 on them. Okay, so what I did is I was like, okay, what do you do with this teapot? And it's a pretty simple graphic, and but I really saw, like, in my mind, I saw how I like teapots, porcelain teapots that are, have some pattern on them, or like embossed sort of. So I went to the embossing folder and I got this beautiful, what is it called? I got it right here. It's called Layered Dynamic Texture Impression. Lace, not layered, lace dynamic texture, that whole textured impression thing. So I did a couple things. I did it in copper, and it is super gorgeous. I just love it. I think it's good. I think we're close enough. And then I wanted to stamp it and cut it out, because you do kind of need the image to get the full teapot. So I think I might stamp this one in Stays On and do some things with it, but I didn't get that far yet. So the other thing that I loved is this embroidered butterfly in the sewing, the needlepoint and thread bundle, or the needlepoint nook DSP. Sorry, I'm trying to keep that stuff so I can give you the right names. But so I got the balmy blue out, and I mean, every time I work with a new color, I think, oh, this is my new favorite color of the world. I mean, I just love, it's like you fall in love with every single thing. So what I did is I made my little teacup, and I'm stamping this on shimmer paper. I pretty much have gone exclusively to stamping on shimmer paper. Yay. Because it makes everything a little more beautiful. So pretty. Yes, it does. So, and I just colored these with the blends. I'm not going to really show you how I did it. I did basically balmy blue, light and dark, and then I took the color remover, color lifter, and just kind of did it in the center to get it a little lighter in the center. So I'm just going to assemble this pretty quick. And
you need to run that through the embossing thing?
No, I'm not going to. Well, I could.
I can emboss it for you.
Yeah, you can emboss it.
I'm done now.
I don't think I need to do anything, because I think I thought there was something I needed to emboss. Yeah. Okay, and then I stamped the teapot on the shimmer again, cut it out, and then I went ahead and colored the top, and then I put it through the thick embossing folder. That's what I did.
It's our new word.
I've got a little shot of something in this besides,
Imagine that. So did you line it up anyway?
Yes, I was going to tell you. What I did is I just lined it up so that the center top and the center bottom is on the this line, not the. And it actually, well, I'll just show you. So that worked out really well, and it makes it kind of look like you've got. Well, I'll just show you this. So it shows you it's. The little circle just totally goes right around the curve of the teapot, which makes it so pretty. I mean, it looks like it was supposed to be that way. One of the other things, thank you, dear.
You're welcome. Do you need the big shot?
So then you've got this beautiful little teapot that's all lacy. Hence the lace embossing, textured embossing folder thingy, I don't know. And then it just so happened that the lace doilies were in the extra things for Sale-A-Bration. So since we were texting last night, Susan was working, and she's like, I tried to put doilies in mine. And then Siri's like, yeah, I tried to use doilies with mine too. And I'm like, oh, doilies! I didn't think about doilies. So what I did, and it wasn't going to work the whole thing because it's kind of busy. So what I did, and I'm going to show you in the up close thing, is I just started cutting out the center of the doily. So you can see here, so I'm cutting that out, and I'm just going to use the outside of it. So when you're designing stuff, just remember you don't have to use it exactly as it's designed to be used. You can kind of cut pieces and parts and then make some interesting design elements. So then I just took my dimensionals and kind of sliced them so that they were real tiny. I'm sure you guys do this all the time. It's not like it's something new. And you could also use glue dots, but I just used the,
I'm impressed you polished your nails to match the card.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I did polish my nails. It's springtime. I'm going on vacation.
She's going to New York City.
I can't wait. Okay, and so I wanted this to have just a little bit of texture, and so I'm just going to actually put a strip of adhesive on the back of the teapot, again, kind of in the center. Oh, and then I'm going to pour the teapot, like Mrs. Potts. And I've also used the little flower. Now this is from the needlepoint stamp set.
Nook.
It's the needlepoint Nook, yeah.
I don't know if that's what it's called.
You know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. Some days the words just come and flow, and then some days it's a struggle.
That little thing would be real. That blue flower would be cute on here.
I know. It's just like,
I just need these.
See how pretty that is? It's adorable. So then I wanted a little bit of center on my flower. And so what I did is I just put the little buttons, the mini buttons, and they kind of go both ways. But what I do is I took the linen thread and I stuck it through. It actually goes through easily. And cut it down. This is kind of a trick from long ago. I just tied it. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I just tie a little knot in the back, and then I'm going to take a glue dot, and the glue dot will hold it, and that's pretty much it.
It's so cute.
That's it. And then I took on the inside, I'm not going to do it on this one, but I did use the blends to blend all this, and I used the Balmy Blue, the Seafoam. I used the crumb cake to make the teapot or the coffee pot a little like tea color, and then the color lifter. But on the inside then, and then I used the stamp from the sewing set, needle and thread is what it's called. And what I did is, okay, so all of this, like this could be a card at a stamp, stamp camp or whatever, but I've kind of put a kit together. I'm going to try and I'll put it, in a PDF, but it's it comes up to $108.25. So you would get the framelits, you would have the stamp sets, you would have the Sale-A-Bration framelits, and then you would also purchase this tea stamp set, and then you'll have something for the spring. But I would go ahead and expand this into a class, and I'm going to play around with it. If I get it done before Friday, I will put some pictures on our group. So I hope that all made sense. I felt very scattered. Is anybody on?
Yep.
Oh, hi guys.
So we've got Tori, we've got Kathy, we've got Diana, and there are two parts to this because we did lose internet connection, and I can tell because they were looking for us and couldn't find us.
Okay.
So to go back and watch the beginning where the first part of my card is, I'm going to show you now how I built my little bouquet. So the beginning of the video, which is not on this, I showed you how to get these so you line them up. And the funny thing is then I cut this out because I stamped a bad one to show you when they don't line up. So here was my bad one, and I put it in my good stack, and then I laid this on here, and I was trying to make this fit. And when you don't line your stamps up right, then they don't work with your die. So if that happens to you and you don't know how to fix that, then go watch the beginning of this. Because I was sitting here messing with it, and I'm like, well, how did that? And then I realized it was my bad one. So stress myself out for no reason. But I was left with these pieces after I ran them through, and I needed to build a bouquet. So what I did was I took, you have 2 of these, and invariably you will stamp, since they're distinctive, one may look better than the other. I know my fingers are dirty from messing with those green things. So I built the whole bouquet out of, trying to get so both cameras can see. Here we go. I built the whole thing out of glue dots. So I did. Got this little one. I got it.
Questions?
So I put this one on here.
Kathy, thanks. Normal. Yeah, that's my normal. Scattered.
And then I took this one here. So I have the 2 stems on the 2 that are going to be like my front cards. And then I decided which of my stems here looked the best. And you're not sticking them so hard that later you won't be able to kind of adjust them. So you're kind of using the glue dots to hold them together. So put this glue dot on here. It's also a great way to make your customers who think they only need one form of adhesive and that they're going to make their snail work forever, to see that if you do this with snail and you get it in the wrong spot, as you start to rip them apart, that you'll be really sad that you didn't have something that was a little bit more forgiving, like the glue dots. So then I took these, so they're kind of stuck together. You have two flowers and 2 stems. And then I put 1 glue dot on the back of one of these flowers. It doesn't matter which one, because you want to hold this guy in place. Don't want to see it though. My hands have hair pizzazz all over them. So this is going to go back here. So now I've got this. So see, it's all held together. And then I added my 2 best leaves, which they're just kind of dependent on how they, even though they line up perfectly in the Big Shot, you know, sometimes as you move them through, they squish a little bit, yeah. So the one that has, like my very best leaf, I put on top. So I'm going to put this one here. Put this one here. And then I needed 1 more stem. But I didn't want it to look just like the other stem. So what I did was I took, see if I can hold this up.
You can do it.
Have it like this, and you can see this guy right here needs a stem. So I took this piece and I flipped it upside down, so there was a little bit of a stem and a little bit of a flat leaf that goes the other way. So you could just kind of mess with it, and then because they're glue dots, you can kind of still position it. And then once I had it how I liked it, I laid it over. This was the first one that I made, and I really, really, really wanted to be able to use the specialty laser cut paper. But I've already used the little pieces at my camp, so I don't have enough. And when you try to cut this big piece 4x6, it was too much. It was falling all apart. So this was the one I ended up with. And that's the paper from the Floral Romance, I think. This is the one. Put that one up there.
This is the one she calls it ugly, but I think it's quite beautiful.
So when you go to lay your whole bouquet, just flip it over with all the glue dots and then put a ton of adhesive on it, and then it'll stick together really well. But that's how you build it. So you, because sometimes at camp, you know, when you're working from the bottom up and people start smucking it down and then they want to move it, their whole card rips and then they just get sad. So we don't want sad campers. We want happy campers.
Happy campers.
No kidding. Happy stampers. Okay, so I decided, as I was playing with mine, I wanted to incorporate the new More Than Words, because this is one of the coordination sets. So it's a celebration coordination. So I combined that with the cupcakes, because I wanted to use the cupcakes. So what I decided to do was do a little bit of watercoloring. And I love the watercolor paper. It's one of my favorite papers. But what I wanted to do was I put a little refill in here, and I used the flamingo. And so on an aqua painter, I like to make sure my water is flowing. I like my aqua painter to be nice and wet. So when I start on my watercolor paper, if my aqua painter is nice and wet, then I can kind of bleed my color in. And I went from the top to the bottom. I can add a little bit more. If it's too dry, you get this weirdo wonky line that you don't really want. It's like your starting line, and I didn't want anybody to see that. So after that dries, it looks like this.
That's pretty.
On the magic of television. The same way here. Like this one, this is one of those dark lines. I just didn't have it wet enough. So you want to make sure you try to have it wet enough that it bleeds really nice and pretty. So then, after I got that all ready, I knew I wanted to layer these pretty cupcakes. So I did it on my Ultra Smooth White. I embossed them, layer, and tried to put a little color on them. And I didn't like the way they looked. I just wasn't really happy. So if you ever think you start a card and you get it done the first time and you love it with your whole heart, you rock.
Yeah.
Because it takes me multiple times to get it the way I love it. So what I decided to do was I decided to do what my friends do, and I went to the shimmering white. It's a little bit thicker. It's got a little bit of a coating on it, and I like that a little better. So what I did was, and again, I daubed some refills in my lids. And this is the soft suede. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to color my cupcake bottom. And look, I'm not coloring in the lines. And there's a reason for that. So I'm going to scientifically get that color off. And then I'm going to go... She's going to give me a paper towel. At home, I never use a paper towel. I use the back of my hand.
There you go.
In fact, I had a sweatshirt on yesterday, and Mark, my husband, looked at the cuff and he goes, "You've got..." I go, "Don't ask." It was just the cuff.
I have old pajama pants that I wear when I stamp, and I just use those.
So I colored outside the lines, and I did that for a couple of different reasons. One, I don't like to color in the lines, but then two, when I ran it through the Big Shot, it already gave me, it didn't give me any white outside that image. So I just ran them through the Big Shot. I took the new, the sequin impression folder, and that's one of your freebies. You can get that as a freebie with Sale-A-Bration now. At my camps, my ultra thick ones, because my people can't remember, say seam first and topless, please. Because they laugh every time they see topless, and they remember they don't want to put a plate over the top. So I ran this through.
Oh, and the sequin is also available in the extra things.
Mm-hmm. Ran it through, put it on top of the soft suede. I added my, I wanted to go a little bit darker, so I put my espresso here. I'm going to add this after it's dried. I have these fabulous little cupcakes I'm going to layer. The words I took from here, and I have the today calls for something sweet, and then the inside says with extra sprinkles on top. So I added I used that pretty ribbon that's in the Occasions catalog. I added some fabulous little candles. And when Stampin'Up, when they put together the coordination product, you have this adorable little Hello Cupcake, but you have these fun little things that go with it now. And you have the pick, a couple of picks that can go in the top of your cupcakes. It has the candles. So it has things with that coordinate with what you already have, and then they have things that kind of go with it. And then I added some sequins because I like the sequins. And I have, several people have said online that they really like to put their, put a piece of magnet here, and you want to order it on Amazon, and I've read a couple of different people. I'm not loving this yet because I don't think my magnet's strong enough. I think I got a weaker one because every time I close it, all my things are off. So if you order it, make sure you get a stronger magnet. Like Tanya's was all holding in there.
Oh.
Mine doesn't. I open it and they all fall out. And that's not working for me, friends, because I'm going to lose one.
Did you get a sheet, like in a sheet?
Yeah. Oh, no. These were cut this size.
Oh, okay. I got the 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10.
Yeah. and so my magnets keep falling off, or my framelits, which is annoying. But
I can
anyway,
post a link where I got them.
yeah, these were supposed to be cut to fit. And so I really liked the words coordinating with it. I loved adding my candles. I liked the way it all embossed, and I was able to use my watercolor paper. So that's my fun little card with, I added a celebration set you already have, a coordination item that you can purchase, the framelits which you can purchase now, and then this can be a freebie if you don't have it. So
That's awesome.
Get that the coral card, because I used a different pick on that than I did last week.
and just do it on the shimmer white. You'll like it so much
Shimmer
better.
is so much better.
Oh,
This one has this is the card I did last week, but in different color, and I used the pick that has the little star
Oh yeah, that's cute.
in the middle, which
Oh.
is super cute.
The colors I used, for those of you who may want to know, I used Grapefruit Grove, Pineapple Punch, Soft Suede, and Flirty Flamingo. And on my cardstock, I used the Soft Suede, the Grapefruit Grove, and I used an espresso because I just wanted it a little bit darker to kind of set my things off.
Plus, it makes you think of like
Ice cream
dark
cones.
chocolate fudge.
Yeah,
or
or ice
something.
cream cones.
And I did stamp the inside. So I added some sprinkles to the inside with the words that say, with sprinkles on top. Because my granddaughter, Willow, who is now 15 months old, threw her first temper tantrum ever because she couldn't have a cupcake with sprinkles for breakfast. So, you know, sprinkles are game changers, girls. We all know that.
Oh yes, Kimberly, you do need to order some shimmer white. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but you will not be sorry. You will
It's
love
almost
it.
my
And it's,
exclusive
Yeah.
neutral color.
It's just a little bit thicker. It's got that coating on it.
Yeah.
It just
and once your
watercolors really well.
customers start stamping with it, they are not going to want to go back to plain white. 'Cause
and it's not white,
it's
and
really
it's not
pretty.
vanilla, so it works on no matter which color you're using.
Stampin' Storage. I haven't looked at Stampin' Storage to see what they've got, but let us know how it goes with the storage, because you know we're always looking for ways to store stuff.
So we do have some stuff with our upcoming event. One thing is, you can see we're wearing our shirts,
Yep.
and so where are you going to put it?
It's going to be, I'll put the link down below. It's going to be on cleoandfrizz.com. That is my, it's my boutique that I have that is really, it's got hats and
Hi,
accessories. Oh.
Yeah.
My husband just started watching and he's in the other room. So, he's a supportive husband. So anyway, so it will be, what you do is you can just order it. It comes from Printful. It's a drop ship company, so you can go on and order whatever size you would like to have, and then it will ship directly to you. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I will do my best to answer them. I am getting ready to go on vacation. Woo-hoo! I'm going to New York City and I cannot wait. But anyway, we'll get it all taken care of, whether it's me, Susan, or Sherry. So
Yep. And you know, we said that we
I'm
would have.
ridiculous when I see myself doing that.
It's easier to watch us on the phone because our eyes aren't as good, so we're tiny, so it's easier to see. And you know, we said that we would do a drawing, and we have, these aren't the only prizes we have, but we have lots of little prizes that you will be able to pick from at our training. Or if you do the home version, which I realize we don't have the registration up for the home version yet, because we have in stage if you come to Indiana or Indianapolis to join us, and all of the details for that are below. So every week we'll just add all the rest of you who have registered your names to this, and whoever gets drawn today will get first pick of whatever prizes we have, and whoever gets drawn next time will get second pick. So who wants to draw a name?
And we'll probably do the same thing for home stage.
Yeah.
We'll probably have the same prizes.
Yeah,
Just as,
and your names will just start getting added in as we get that registration going. So if you can't come, you can still make all of the projects along with us. So it's Sandy Elliott. So Sandy will get first pick. I better write this down, or else we'll have to go back and rewatch all of our videos to figure out who won.
Let's do that.
Here, we'll just write Sandy.
Oh, and Kathy about scattered,
Number
I
one.
totally understood what you meant. Yeah,
Number
we're all
one
crazy.
pick. So today is the last day that you can register for. I think
For
early bird registration. So the
In
cost does
Indiana.
go up. So if you want the early bird registration price, you need to early register today. And then we continue to have people try to join this page who are not demonstrators. And we do have a public page, so if you have friends who want to see this stuff, it looks the same. The page looks the same, but it doesn't have all the same content. Like, it won't have this video, but we're gonna do a shortened version with one card on that. And you find it by typing in hashtag.
No, it's at Friends to Stamp is our tag name, and the banner on top says "Creating and Sharing the Life You Love." I think it has is that the one that has our picture on it?
I think so.
Yeah, from a market that we did earlier. So that's how you find at Friends to Stamp, and we'll put that in the comments below as well.
Yeah. So if you have friends who are not demonstrators, who are you trying to get to be demonstrators, that's the page that you need to send them to. And that way they can see everything.
We're so glad you came by and spent some time with us.
Yep. If you have any questions, you can ask them down here and we'll answer them later. So have a good day.
Bye. Everybody.